Now you talking to me, baby. That I like. A guppy breeder becoming an angelfish breeder. What a pickle. Dude, what to do? If you have a question, put it in the comments. I will make a video explaining and answering that question. If you have a problem, I'll solve it. Check out the hook as my DJ revolves. Ice, ice, baby. If you're a Gen Xer, that is going to be rumbling and tumbling in your head all freaking day.
Why so serious?
Yep, I put in one of my last videos that if you have an issue that you want me to do a video on, if you have a question, a curiosity, or anything you wanted me to make a video on, fish related, freshwater fish keeping related, hit me up. I will make a video about it because I get more animated, I get more funkier, I get more fresher when you guys want me to talk about something than when I have to pull it out of my... So you have something you want me to do a video on? I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't threaten me with a good time. At Keep Moving Forward 5576. I'm kind of lost right now. I'm a long time guppy breeder and I just got into angelfish breeding. If I line breed for perfect finnage, how long will it take for the fry to all have perfect fins? That's question one. Like, how many generations? And when do you think it's a good time to start breeding for color? I feel like I have a really good grasp on this question because I've bred angels many, many times and I have bred guppies for profit. And I quickly realized, trying to breed quality guppies for profit is no joke. Breeding angels, quality angels, is no joke. So in my opinion, he's taking on two fish that are take up a good amount of time and dedication. Fun fact, I used to joke on people who bred guppies all the time. I used to be like, I used to say that people who bred guppies were just kind of goofy because to breed guppies, all you need is 2 guppies and a box of water and boom, you're a guppy breeder. Until I actually tried to breed guppies for profit. Now, mind you, having a box of water with a male and female guppies, they're gonna breed. That's not a guppy breeder, in my personal opinion. A guppy breeder is constantly looking and picking out and culling and deciding which guppy is worth breeding and pulling the females out before they get impregnated by a younger guppy that's been hiding in all. It takes a lot of time. It got so overwhelming with how many fish I had to sort through that I didn't have time, and it got away from me. It got away from me. So for those guppy breeders out there with staring at their tanks at all those damn guppies and getting them before they get got and moving them and yeah, right there, because it was too much for me. It's too much for me. I didn't have the time to do it, and it's very meticulous, very meticulous. But if you have a whole bunch of guppies in a box of water and they're just doing their thing, really, do you, boo boo? Do you? If you're enjoying yourself, don't let me clown you. I'm just having fun. Just having fun. Okay, so there's 4 factors that you have to think about as a guppy breeder moving over to breeding angels. And before I give you my end comment, I'm going to go over those 4 factors. And I don't mean to insult you. I'm going to go over these factors for the benefit of people who might be watching who may not know. You probably already know this stuff being a guppy breeder, but for the benefit of other people who may not know, I'm going to keep it at a level where everybody could grasp it. You got me? Factor number 1, source. Where are you sourcing these fish from? Of course, you want to get different bloodlines because you don't want to inbreed. When you inbreed, you increase your chances of having mutations that you don't want. You know, you get, you know, brothers and sisters coming out like, you know what I mean? You don't want that. You don't want that. And if you're breeding for perfection, you want different bloodlines to have a stronger bloodline where fish come out with more perfect finnage and color and overall health. Wherever your source you getting them from, you want to ask them, hey, where did you get your fish from? Because if this guy who you got the females from and this guy you got the males from got them from the same person, that's not going to work either. And for those who don't know, he's line breeding, so that means he's being very specific on which fish goes with what. He's not colony breeding. Basically, colony breeding is put a whole bunch of fish from different bloodlines together and letting them mix and mingle and nature take its course. He's being very specific. This is a male from here and this is a female. I want this male with that female, and those are the ones that I want to. So that's what line breeding is. He's being very specific as to what male matches up with one female. The second thing we want to talk about is, as far as coloration, what are you trying to do? What kind of colors are you looking for? Are you looking for a color that's already on the market, or are you trying to come out with a new color? If you're trying to come out with a new color or a new pattern, that's pretty labor intensive. That takes a lot of time. And to be honest with you, in my personal opinion, for the most part, how do I put this? I've found that most of the time it's dumb luck that they come across your first batch of fish that have a specific trait that they're like, oh, look at this, it has some blue in it. Okay, let's keep doing that. You know what I mean? I'm sure that the person who invented the Bulgarian seal point didn't set out to invent the color pattern of the Bulgarian seal point. Like, they were sitting around one day, be like, you know, it would be cool if we invented the color pattern of a fully white body and dark fins and maybe some yellow right on the front right there. I seriously doubt that that was their intention starting out. They probably had some fish where it was kind of going in that direction and they kind of just pushed it. It was like, hey, you know what? It looks like it's kind of, and they kind of pushed it in that direction. So if you're going for a color pattern that is already existing, that's way easier to do. All you got to do is find fish with a strong color pattern starting out. Okay? Same thing with the finnage. You want to go ahead and find the fins that you want, as far as standard, long fin, cobtail, super long fin. You want to get the parents, the source. You want to get those source, the parents. You want to get them already in that arena. You already want to get standards if you're doing standards. If you're doing wide fin, you want to get them both wide fin. I wouldn't try and get standards and try and turn them into wide fin. There's already wide fin out there. Why do that? There's already veil tails out there. So why get standards and try and make a veil tail? You know, now what you could do if you're trying to do veils and you don't want the veils to be too long is, you know, mix veils with standard to keep the veils kind of short and more sturdy instead of so long, because you don't like super veils because they're too floppy-oppy. You can do that, but you kind of gotta get an idea of what it is exactly your end result is going to be as far as the fin goes. So we got source, we got what's your end result going to be for color and pattern, and what's your end result going to be for finnage. And if they're going to be already something that's on the market, you need to go ahead and find the best specimens that have the best color and the best finnage from different sources you can. Now here's the fourth one, and really the fourth one is the main one that's going to be the issue as a guppy breeder becoming an angelfish breeder, that a guppy breeder might run into a problem with. The fourth one, time. Time. You said in your, God, don't get old. I'm going to read it again because I got to get to the part. All right, here it is. If I line breed for perfect finish, how long will it take for the fry to all have perfect fins? If you want perfect fins, then go ahead and get perfect fins to start out with. They're out there already. When you have fry, some fins are not going to be perfect. There's going to be some abnormalities. You just go ahead and cull those. Not every fish in every spawn is going to have perfect fins. Just like in your guppies, some of them, even though you have two parents with perfect spines, there's going to be some that's going to throw a bent spine out. Same thing for the angels. And colorations too. You might have two parents that are perfectly colored, but you're going to have some that's going to throw out a recessive gene because all these designer genes, designer angels came from other mixed breeds. They're all mutts at heart, so they're all going to throw out some crazy thing. You just got to cull them. There is never going to be a such thing as a two angelfish having a spawn where 100% are perfect. Not going to happen. Like how many generations? See, this is where the guppy breeding is going. The guppy breeder in you is going to kind of clash with the brand new angelfish breeding. Guppy breeders can go through a bunch of generations from fry to adulthood to fry to adulthood to fry to adulthood within a year. 3, 4, you know what I mean? Generations. Within a year, you can get an adult guppy and know what it's going to look like as a full-grown guppy inside of a year. You cannot do that with an angel. So to get an idea of what an angel is going to look like as an adult, you're going to have to give it at least 2 years. At least 2 years before you get a very good understanding of what the end result of the color pattern and the finish is going to look like. And then on top of that, you have to understand these fish could live up to 8 years. And as it grows, the fins are still going to grow longer. And the color pattern is still going to slightly change. They're going to bleed into, the color patterns will bleed into each other or even darken up and get stronger. So time is not your friend when it comes to trying to do something new. Whereas with guppy breeding, you had the turnaround was so much faster. Angels is going to take you a lot longer. You know, it takes 3 months for them to just get this big. And then, you know, you're going to have to breed those. You have to wait till they get big enough to spawn. And then you don't even know, even though that they're spawning, you still don't know what they're going to look like because they could spawn inside of a year, but they're not full grown. So you don't know what they're going to look like. So if you really want to know which one of your fry is going to be the best specimen, you're going to have to grow that fry out for 2 years. Whereas with your guppies, you only had to wait a couple of months. You feel me? So time is not going to be your friend. You're not going to be used to the time restraint. Here's my suggestion to you. You want to be an angelfish breeder and you want to have the best coloration and the best finish you can get. Like I stated before, find the parents from 2 different bloodlines with the best coloration and the best finish. You're never going to get 100% on every spawn. There's always going to be some finish and some colorations, even with perfect parents, that you're going to have to cull. But as you move forward, you're always going to be making yourself a better fish by pulling the best ones out with the best qualities. And it's going to take years. It's going to take years. So don't put a time restraint on yourself with this. because you're gonna really kick yourself in the butt. Just go for perfection, not time. Go for quality, not speed. That's my 2 cents. I got another video to do that someone had a question on, but if you have one, I could do one after that. Subscribe, do all that stuff. Hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you, and I thank you in advance.